What's up, everybody? You are back with part 3, long awaited. I know it's been a while. Our schedules is just, we haven't been able to actually set a time to sit down, get it done, and both be energized. One of us is like, either he's tired or I'm tired, and then we just don't do it.
We're tired of you.
Fuck off. So part 1 and 2, we were talking about what is worth fighting for in a relationship and what is a deal breaker or something that you need to walk away from. We've touched on a bunch of different topics, and we left off on part 2 talking about line of work. The last thing we had said was there's different, because obviously work is a big, deal breaker for certain people, and that's a line of work that some people may not be okay with. But then even in that category alone, there's different kinds of work. There's P-stars, there's dancers, there's OF, there's corner street people, there's escorts, so
Daywalkers.
I almost said daywalkers. I almost said that. Some might be more acceptable than others based off of your opinion.
I want to add one to the list real quick. Stagehands.
Oh my God.
Don't fuck with them.
People who work concert events. It's a touchy subject, guys.
That's the problem. It's too touchy.
If you haven't seen part 2, I said that I used to be weary about military, and then I dated a cop who I highly would not recommend.
My mother dated like a few military dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing good.
Same.
Nothing good to say about it.
One of my best friends married one. Not good. Not good. Not good reviews.
Not good. Not so good.
I think I would be a little bit more understanding to military than a cop, but that's just based off my experience alone. The only reason, and what's funny is a lot of people say that no to military and no to cops because of like cheating and stuff. I found out the hard way that cheating was pretty accurate with the cops, but I was more concerned about like their mental health. I was more concerned of like, it's going to take a mental toll on not only them, but then me as well, having to deal with someone who has to see or deal with some pretty hard things day in and day out with their career. And it takes a certain kind of person to be able to handle that in a relationship. So that was just my thing. But as far as sex work, I think that if it's online, because obviously everybody knows that OnlyFans has become a really big thing, right? I wouldn't personally judge someone right off the bat for that. However, I have said that a boundary of mine is I wouldn't date a P-star. That's just me. I wouldn't date, if I was a man, I wouldn't date a dancer.
You wouldn't date Mia Khalifa?
Who the fuck is that?
Really?
Who is that?
She's one of the most famous of those types of stars.
Really? I don't really want, I'm not sitting here fangirling over P-stars.
Yeah, but I'm sure that you've been on the internet at some point. She's all over that motherfucker.
If you're not watching that a lot, you're probably not going to know who that is.
Well,
I don't know any P-stars.
Bro, you don't even have to subscribe to any of that stuff. Like, everybody knows who that is. But I'm only saying that because recently she got herself a man and everybody was like flaming him in the comments.
Well, of course. Yeah. That's going to be the general consensus for sure.
I wouldn't date her.
If I was a man, I would not date a dancer or a P-star, only because I feel like you are for work, or any of the other ones that I named, because you're physically being involved and you're letting people touch you and you're doing things of that nature. Now, the reason I don't really see a problem with the OnlyFans is because it kind of depends on, like, you ended off the last episode saying it just kind of depends on if the girl plans to do it forever, or if it's like, hey, I have goals, but this is what I'm stuck doing because I need the money type shit. Because it's not something where you're physically being involved with someone, but it is something that you have to think about, because long term, your pictures and videos will be on the internet, or people can. And
even if you decide to take it down, that shit's never gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Because there's girls who just, even though this story is like really old by now, hot chick realizes that she could use her body to make money, they still don't ever think about long term.
Right.
One of these days your looks are going to fade and people don't want to subscribe anymore. But these chicks have that mentality like, oh yeah, I'm doing this and I'm making good money and it's going to be forever. And it's like, it's not. And then they do stuff on there that's never going to come down. And then it's like, well, how would I want to date you? Like the Mia Khalifa.
Right.
She got super famous. I don't think she meant to, but she did. And then she went with it. She's on camera doing some things that I would just be like, I can't. No. You're pretty much just recreational use only now.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with it. But, you know, if there's like a chick who just does OnlyFans temporarily and she's not on there doing some outrageous, outlandish things, it's not really that big of a deal to me.
Right, because I have a friend who doesn't do all the crazy stuff, you know? And there's girls who can make tons of money by doing just basic shit on there. But I had a conversation with someone last year, and they had brought up like their perspective of it, and they were speaking about how if they were in a group of their friends talking, like their homeboys, and the topic came up of what their girl was doing, if they were doing that, how they didn't want to even put themselves in a position to have that discussion, because it's like they don't want their girl doing something that their homeboys can basically flame them about or joke about or whatever. And I actually kind of argued with him a little bit. I was like, well, even if your girl is doing OnlyFans or working in that industry, whatever, they may be able to brag about how their bitches are corporate or whatever while your girl's doing that. But I think it more so depends on what the person is bringing to the relationship. Because yeah, your girl could be doing OnlyFans, but she could also be being faithful to you, being supportive, bringing you peace. She could be cooking, cleaning, doing everything she's supposed to for you. She could be the best girlfriend in the world. You think them corporate hoes don't cheat? You think them bitches that keep their clothes on all the time and are dressing all modest, you don't think they're capable of being ungrateful and not bringing peace to the home and not being supportive? And, you know, so it's kind of like,
well,
it's kind of like
to be fair, I've yet to date a loyal OnlyFans girl or dancer.
Well, no,
or
I know.
SW girl in general.
But I'm just saying, like, in a general speaking term, there are women who don't do those things and are just as capable, and husbands bitch about them all the fucking time. So it's like, if your girl was bringing all that to the table, would it be a deal breaker?
No, if I was on a date and the girl was like, yeah, I do OnlyFans, then I would have to go investigate what's on there. Because they could say any, but no, don't even worry about it. Like, I'm just on there. It's just pictures and like solo videos. And it's like, that's what you say though.
Right.
So now I have to go investigate and see what's actually on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
So out of all five of those, you would, out of like P-stars, dancers, escorts, OnlyFans, what are the no's and the yeses?
So I've dated like 3 dancers.
You wouldn't.
Well, no. I'm pretty sure I said it on the last episode, because I've been played by chicks with normal jobs. So when the opportunity presented itself to date a dancer, I was like, well.
Oh, okay. So that proves my point.
I was like, ironically, what if they actually turned out to be, they were terrible? So don't date them. Because I'm one of those people that has to, like, you could tell me all day, so-and-so's bad news, or this line of work usually, because they say statistically speaking, like RNs cheat the most out of any line of work.
I can literally attest to that. I've had nurse friends that like.
So, but even if I was like, yo, I'm seeing this girl and she's a RN, I'd still have to find out for myself. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
So when the opportunity arose to date dancers, I was like, well, I guess we'll have to see. And yeah, don't date them. We're 3. So like 3rd time's a charm, and there was no charm any of those times. Dated like 3 OnlyFans girls. Where are they now? So that didn't work. Even though I had bad experiences with the OnlyFans girls, I'm still like, you know, depending on what's on there, like I'd give another one a shot. But
yeah,
and RNs too, bro. Like that's still like, I don't know.
That's a good one. I was gonna say, for both perspectives, because obviously S work is more frowned upon when it comes to women and men accepting them. But then flip the script, I wouldn't date a male nurse. That was a good one. I actually.
Wait, do they also?
Yes.
They're also in those statistics? I thought it just applied to the women.
No, it's just nurses in general. And I guess I don't blame them, because their schedules are so crazy, and they are around each other for such long shifts, and you know, I get it, I guess. But yeah, I've heard that nurses are some of the biggest
corn dogs.
Hoochie mammies and hoochie pappas.
Hoochie Pappy?
Hoochie pappas.
I do declare.
Now, another one. As y'all know, I'm a huge Chris Brown fan.
Oh, God.
Chef's kiss, right? But I get asked all the time, do I think that if I'm in a relationship, I should get a hall pass for Chris Brown or any celebrity for that matter?
No.
Or what are your boundaries? You know, everybody had this big thing to say about pictures and stuff like that was being taken with his meet and greets and all that. And so I thought, okay, well, let's talk about it. Do you think what boundaries should be set as far as in a relationship when it comes to celebrity crushes? And do you think it's a deal breaker for anything to go on? Like, what's your opinion on it? Because I've heard both sides. Like, I've heard people think one way and then I've heard people think another way. I actually changed my thoughts over the years.
If I'm dating a chick and she's like asking for a hall pass for Chris Brown, no. Fuck Chris Brown.
So if your partner said you get a hall pass for yours, what would you say? Would you still say no, or is it kind of like is it one of those things where it's like a deal breaker? Like, no, if I'm in a fucking relationship, neither of us are doing hall passes. I don't give a fuck if it's a celebrity or not. Or is it like, okay, well, if she gives me one, then I'll give her one. Or is it like no hall pass to fuck, but like if you want to do that picture thing, like what are your thoughts?
I don't know. What's the picture thing?
He was doing meet and greets, and people were up in arms by some of the poses.
Oh yeah, because all the husbands were getting mad disrespected.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so that's
that was whack. I wouldn't have did that shit. I'd be like, we just have Chris Brown, then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Disrespect is disrespect. It don't matter who's doing it. I don't give a shit who it is. Like, if you want to take a picture like that with Jesus can just have you. And that's Jesus.
So it's not. Is it a red flag for your girlfriend to be super fond of a celebrity as long as she doesn't cross those lines, or do you think like, no, bro, why are you this obsessed? Like, why? Like, it shouldn't even be like.
Well,
that.
What is she saying, dude? Because like, I mean, obviously, they're super fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, my girlfriend's like a really big Chris Brown fan. But it's not like she's constantly walking around like, oh, I'd fuck his brains.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that Chris Brown, man, I'm sorry. Because, dude, that happened to me one time. I was dating a chick back in 2020, and we were listening to MGK. And out of nowhere, she didn't even have to say it. She could have went the rest of her days with me not saying it because nobody asked. And she said, I'm sorry, I'd fuck him. And I was like, yo, what? I was like, way to tell on yourself for being a bop. So now I'm never taking you to see MGK.
So you would never say like, oh, I'd fuck that celebrity, like as a joke. You'd never be like.
Well, I mean, I guess it just depends on y'all's dynamic because I did date a chick who was bi, and she would point out chicks like in everyday life or on TV, and she would be like, "Would you?"
Oh hell yeah! I would love that game.
Would you smash? And I was like, "Is this the first time?" I was like, "Is this a trap?"
Is this a trap? Right.
Like, what do you? She's like, "No, She's like, it's okay to find other people attractive." And I was like, "Yeah."
Fact.
She's like, "So would you?" And I was like, "If you didn't exist?" She's like, "Just answer the fuck." Yeah,
no,
I'm not getting trapped, bro. And she's like, I mean, yeah, if it makes you feel better by answering it, like, would you? And I was like, well, then yeah.
Okay.
But that's like the game. That's like as far as it went.
Yeah, because with everybody, like my entire fan base knows that I'm obsessed with Chris Brown as a musical legend, genius, whatever. I've grown up with him since day one. And I will always be a ride or die fan. But because of that, people just assume, or they're like, oh, like if you had the chance, would you? And to most people's surprise, I wouldn't. Number one, even if I was single and I met him, I wouldn't. Just because I respect him so much as an artist that I would genuinely just want to sit down and have a conversation and just be like, holy fuck, I get to just vibe with like one of my most favorite artists of all time. Sex would be the furthest thing from my mind. Number two, even with the meet and greet, if I was in a relationship, there are still things that you need to do to be respectful to your relationship, because at the end of the day, this is just a celebrity. This is a stranger. You don't know them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't mean enough to me who gives a shit for like a pose that, why would I want that kind of pose to be out there when my man should get that?
Well, and then you're going to look like an asshole. When you post that,
yeah,
all your friends and family and followers are going to see that and be like, wow, dude, she's kind of a bitch for that.
Right.
That's fucked up. And you're over here like, oh my God. And then your man resents you now. All your friends and family are looking at you some kind of way, and your followers and shit. Chris Brown's going to go right back to doing what Chris Brown does. Forget all about you. I don't give a fuck about that bitch.
I honestly would want me, my man, and him to all pose as like homies. Like it would be just like a fun picture. I wouldn't want to do it by myself.
Have you seen how Keanu Reeves takes pictures with women?
I think I did see something about it.
He doesn't touch them.
Right.
He keeps his hands like out.
Yeah.
They like go in and he's like, I'm here.
Right.
Not touching anything.
Yeah.
I think, that's cool of him.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, I do agree that everybody's entitled to their own, opinion, and everybody, I'm sure, finds somebody attractive as far as a celebrity. But like back in the day, like I used to have the mindset of, oh, okay, I would give my man a hall pass if he ever got the opportunity. And then, well, if I'm giving you the hall pass, I get a hall pass too. And I used to thought that was like normal. And then over the years, like, I don't know, my mind just changed about it. And I just feel like that's not even something I would want to entertain.
I just think it's such a stupid thing, to be honest with you. Like, whoever came up with that, why is it still a thing? Why is it taken so seriously? Because like I always thought it was just like a joke or like a hypothetical joke or something. But the fact that it's still around and still so seriously talked about, it's like, it's fucking stupid, to be honest with you. Like, oh, dude, so like, you ever got the chance to bang so-and-so, like, you totally could. It's like, when the fuck am I ever, maybe, because I rap. There might be a day where I meet Glorilla, you know what I'm saying? And we're alone together, and I'm like, sup?
I even said that I thought it was disrespectful. Who was it? I remember Bow Wow commented about it. Who was it? It was somebody's girlfriend that was commenting under an NBA player's Instagram post. Me and a guy I was talking to for a while, we had this discussion. I thought that was even disrespectful. I'm like, you literally have a man who's also in the NBA, mind you, and you're commenting under another man's post with hard eyes and all these things.
Yeah,
do you know how disrespectful that is to not only your man, but just the fact that your friends and family who know you guys are together, who also know this other player, could see that, and you just made it look like you have zero respect for your relationship to everybody that knows you guys. So like, I even take it that far. And some people think I'm crazy. They're like, oh, that's doing too much. No, why?
I don't think so.
Why?
Everybody's stuck on this whole insecure thing. If you got a problem with that, you're insecure. It's like, no, I'm not. I don't like being disrespected.
Well, okay, so for example, that same person that I'm talking about, that we had the discussion about the NBA, he's good friends with Saquon Barkley. I'm obsessed with Saquon Barkley in football. I love him. I love him to death. And I told him, I said, I can show my love and support for him as a player and still show respect to my relationship. So like, because there could very well be a time where we're in the same room together. And he even said that. And we were joking about like whether he could trust me or not. He's like, oh, can I trust you around it? We were joking about it, but I was like, oh no, absolutely not. I said, I don't care if we're in the same room or not. It will be the utmost respect at all times, no matter how big of a fan I am.
In the music game, it's always been a thing. Like, if your girl goes backstage and you don't, she gone. Just write her off right there and there.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be with her at that point.
No, I'm saying, like, she ain't coming back.
Oh, yeah.
If she gets, you ever watch, you remember that, we were talking about that 70s show, right?
Yeah.
Remember the episode where they all went to a concert and, like, Donna got to go backstage and Eric didn't?
Oh,
and everybody was like, yeah, she's on, dude. Like, you better just write that one off. And that's always been the thing, is like, as soon as she goes backstage or gets on that bus.
I wouldn't, yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Why would you even want to do that?
Yeah.
Like, you just gonna leave your man?
Oh,
well, man, that's crazy.
How many times have you heard about, like, artists talking about girls get on the bus or go backstage and say they don't even have a man, when in reality they do. Just like we were talking about the Andrew Tate thing, where the girls were like, oh yeah, we got kidnapped and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, they had boyfriends they didn't want to get in trouble with, and they're on my security camera smiling, grabbing pizza from the thing. It's like, they all, like, a lot of women only care about status, so they will lie. Oh no, I don't have a man. Whole time he's at home, like, or out in the parking lot, like, you know,
They
being
want that.
disrespected.
They want that one chance, and it's like all these bitches think that they're gonna
It's just
they're gonna
bragging
be the
rights.
one to change.
Nah, bro, it's just bragging rights. Like, I hooked up with so and so from blah blah blah. And it's like, okay,
Well, of course, but they also low key deep down think that, well, maybe they'll like me more than the rest.
take me with you.
Every last one of them.
Groupies.
What's crazy is I actually, because I'm so confident in myself, say my man was like a huge fan of, I don't know, Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion, and he got a chance to meet her. If they wanted to take a funny picture of his face between her tits, I genuinely wouldn't care. I would think it's funny. I would literally take the picture
Like
for
full
him
on
and
motorboat?
laugh. Yeah, I would laugh. I would think it's funny. I wouldn't care, but that's because I'm just, I don't know, maybe those things don't bother me. But even with me saying like, hey, it's okay for you to do that, I'm still okay with you not wanting me to do that. Does that make sense? Like, some people think I'm crazy, but like,
well, that
I'm
was
okay.
just like, that was like when I was talking about, because you have dated a few chicks who are bi, so they say, like, it's cool, it's a trend now to be bi, but
I hate
they're
that.
the ones that bring up like three-ways and stuff, and they're like, so are you like down for something like that? And I'm like, well, it depends.
Okay, so that's the next topic. Let's just roll into that.
Okay, well, every guy, I think, well, every man is, right? Like, oh, that sounds awesome, you know, me and two chicks. But I'd always be like, is that all it is? Like, first of all, I don't care. Like, it's not a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would be like, now, is this how you lure me into a devil's three-way? Because I know if we do this with one of your homegirls or just some hot chick, later you're going to be like, well, now I want me and two dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be cool with that because I let you have this three-way with me and this other chick. So I'd be like, is that going to be your game later? Because if so, it's not that important. Like, I don't ever want to do that.
So, okay, so for you in a relationship, that is not a deal breaker. Like if a girl, or it is.
What, a devil's three-way?
If a girl is cool with three-way parties, but both ways. Like, so
no, I don't want to do the other way.
So you wouldn't, okay.
So that's what I'm saying, like, in the interest of fairness, because I'm really big on being fair.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask, like, I stress this. I'm like, if you want to do a three-way with another chick, I'm down. But if it's going to lead us to involving another dude at some point, doing a devil's three-way, it's not that important to me, and I don't want to do it.
Okay.
And these are the conversations I would have, and they would assure me, like, oh, no, it's just that every now and then I want a taste of the other side. And, you know, I can't do it by myself because that's not fair to you. And I was like, okay, so never, ever any three-ways with two dudes. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, then yeah. Well, because I'm not bi either. So that would, like, it would make sense if I was in that situation, but she's the bi one. So if she wants to include another chick at some point, because she's also getting something out of it, it's not just for me. That was my whole other point. I was like, if we were both bi, then it would make sense if at some point we then had another dude involved. But seeing as how I'm not, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Then it's just all about you, when in this particular situation, it's for both of us. You see, does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely see your logic on it. Like, I had an ex who, he didn't care about either or. He was the one who brought up the beginning, and then he was like, but I'm a fair person. We can do both. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm not asking for that, but you know what I mean? So, but it was rare to see someone that was not bi, but was okay with both.
That just
because he wanted to be fair. And I was like, well, I mean, that whatever floats your boat.
That just makes me think that he don't care. Because I tell you what, no man who loves any woman wants to get her with another man.
And that's how I feel. I feel like, why would you want to share something that, yeah, like I don't think any man truly wants to share his woman. So
actually, one of the worst thoughts in the world that you could have is if you love a chick and she leaves you, and then you're sitting there thinking about it, and then you're thinking about her with some other dude, it drives you fucking crazy. Like, yeah. That's one of the worst parts of it, because it's like, you're like, damn, I'm sad that she's gone, but what is she doing? And then you hear through the grapevine that she's like out with some other dude, and then your brain goes like right to them doing what y'all did, and that shit hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So if you actually care, like, you don't want to see that shit. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, dude, let's fucking, it ain't fun unless the homies can hit. That's just fuck shit.
I've actually come across some guys who were not like three-ways are a deal breaker. Like, I had a friend who her boyfriend was like, I dare you to try to bring that to me. And he was like, I don't care what nobody says. I don't want 2 girls. No, we're not doing that. And I always thought that was the weirdest thing.
It's kind of crazy.
But then and this was years ago. And then over the years, I've seen other dudes not be okay with it. And so it was so shocking to me because I was like, damn, I thought that's like what every dude wanted, but apparently not. And so, I mean, granted, my opinion has changed over the years. I wouldn't necessarily say, because I'm also bi, so like I don't know for sure at this point in my life if it's a deal breaker. Like if a guy was like, hey, that's something I would like to do in the future with you. I want someone that's open to that. I haven't quite decided whether I think it's a deal breaker or not, but I could see why some people call it a deal breaker and some people won't. And then I could also see how some people might want to work through it or work on it throughout the relationship, depending on how long you're together. Because when you're with someone, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you always hear people talk about how do you keep the bedroom spicy? How do you do this, that, and the other? And I think that's where some people kind of might move the hoop a little bit or bend the rules just because at that point in their life, maybe it's like, all right, we've done this for 20 years. Sure, why not? Maybe back 20 years ago it was a deal breaker. No, I'm not interested. But then now that I've been through 20 years of marriage, now maybe this is something I can consider. So I've had semi-open relationships. I've had monogamous, well, what I thought was monogamous, but they were cheating. And so I guess I don't really know if it would be a deal breaker for me. But for a guy's perspective, I think it's a totally different mindset on whether it's a deal breaker than a girl's perspective.
I think most of the dudes who aren't cool with 3-ways, even with 2 chicks, are religious too. Because I did see a dude freak out one time in high school. He was like a religious country boy, and like his girl thought it would be funny or cool or whatever to like kiss on another chick in the cafeteria, and this dude lost his mind. Like he lost it. He was pissed. And I remember being like, what's your problem, dude? And he was like, nope, fuck that. Go be with your lesbian. Fuck no. You just cheated right to my face, bitch, talking all this shit. And I was like,
yeah.
Well, no, dude, you can, get them both. He's like, nah, fuck that.
I mean, that's a good point, though. Like you said, religion, that could be a huge thing as to why someone's like, nah.
Yeah.
And you've even, when we've talked sometimes, you're like, I consider it cheating if a girl goes and does what she wants, right?
I was actually going to bring that up because it did happen one time where I was like out of town and I wasn't quite dating this chick yet, but she was like hanging out with one of her friends, like her girlfriends, and then I was talking to her the next day and she's like, yeah, so I fooled around with what's her name last night. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? She's like, yeah, in the shower. And I was like, oh, all right, cool, so I'm gonna go fool around with so and so then, because I wasn't there, like I wasn't a part of it, and I'm not bi, so I'm not gonna go out there and like fool around with a dude. So that means that seeing as how you didn't even call me, first of all. Like, I know we're not dating, but that's kind of like we did have the like, are you like hooking up with somebody else? No, me neither. Chicks still count. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go fool around with so and so then.
That's a really debatable topic. I could see his point to an extent, but then as me being who I am, it was hard for me to wrap my head around because I wouldn't have thought anything was wrong either. And like, I would have been like, wait, what? You're mad? But then I guess I just never thought about it like that. And so like, that's one of those things where I don't really know my opinion on that because I can't say I fully agree, but then I can't say I fully disagree.
Well, I'm pretty big on fairness and respect.
It kind of depends on, I guess, what the woman feels during that, I guess, because I don't look at that the same way I look at being intimate with a man. So it's like, or my man for that matter. It is no comparison, and it is not even on the realm of spectrum the same in my brain. So, but there is a difference between.
I don't know, rug munching in the shower together, pretty intimate.
I don't know. I like any time that.
Put your mouth on another person's. No. I
know what you're saying.
That's like an intimate thing.
What I'm saying is, it's the way that it registers in my brain, I guess. Now, when it comes, but then again, I can't really argue with what you're saying because, right, if it's a lesbian, that's all she wants, right? That's all she craves. That's all she does. So it's like I get what you're saying. It still is an intimate thing, but when I look at what I've done or what I would do with a female versus a male, it's lower. It's a different feeling for sure. Like, you know, women are more sensual, whatever. I could go on a whole list, but it's not this. I don't look at it. I guess I don't look at it as crazy as that. I don't look at it as sex. I don't look at it as. I don't know. That's so weird. I don't even know how to describe what I'm trying to say.
Girls don't really have much they can do. I mean, they can make out. They can, you know, DJ.
Yeah.
They can DJ each other, and they can eat each other out. Like, and all that stuff's like in the ballpark. You know, especially eating each other out. Like, I've heard you say in the past, like, oh, I don't just be doing that to everybody.
Mhm.
That's an intimate thing.
But
that's reserved for somebody special. So it's like, yo, you just went out last night.
I've never once used a toy on a female, and she's never used it on me either. So I don't use the whole, like, there's no penetration going on. So therefore, for me, I guess that's why I don't register it as like the same thing. I guess that's the only way I can maybe like get out what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but even then, if there was, it's a fake fucking thing.
Exactly.
So it's not even. Dude, that would be way better than them eating each other out.
Really?
It's a fake thing.
That's so okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't want any of it to happen.
This is interesting. I'm saying.
I don't want any of it to happen, but like.
So you'd rather the toy than the.
If your chick went out and blew another dude.
Well.
That would be devastating.
Well, no shit.
Your chick went out and blew another human, like put her mouth on another human's thing. Now, if your chick went out and saddled up with a fake thing.
You know what? I guess I also look at it differently, because I feel like in my mind, the female is no competition to my man. No matter what I do with a female, it will never, ever, ever compare to what I have with my man. So I guess that's also why I downplay it in my brain. It's because I'm like, okay, whatever. We fooled around last night. She shit to me. Like, I could never be with her.
Yeah,
I could never like.
That's the equivalent to a dude cheating and being like, whatever, dude. It was just for fun.
No.
It was just exercise.
No, but when a dude does that, though, he literally is inside the woman.
Right, but he
But
he could say the same thing, like, whatever, dude, she means nothing to me, dude. That was just for fun. That was just exercise. Like, I love you.
But a man would date another woman. You could cheat with that woman and then go date her. I wouldn't date the woman. I will never date a woman.
But that's different, though, because I don't date chicks I'm not into it.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, maybe the reason I don't look at it the same in my brain is because it doesn't matter if you're the hottest woman in the world, dopest woman, coolest woman. It doesn't matter. You could be the most perfect woman in the world. I still wouldn't date you. So it's like, to me, in my brain, you're never going to be in competition with my man. My man is always going to be 10 steps ahead of you. You're literally just like fun. Whereas with a man, when he fools around with another chick, if she was cool enough, good enough, sexy enough, whatever, he very well could leave you to go with her. Whereas the same as like, if I were to sleep with another man, sure, I may have the mentality you do about, oh, that man doesn't mean anything to me. But there's a chance that I could leave you and go date him because I want to date a man. Whereas a woman, I don't. Then that's a really interesting thought process. First of all, I am logical, and you know that.
You know what I think?
I'm very logical, philosophical, intelligent, intellectual. I got all the shits.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't hang out with you if you weren't.
Well, anyway,
sometimes when we're arguing and you think you're dead right, you'll be like, ugh, and I'll be like, because hold on, logic, da 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 da, and you're like, and then you'll just get. Oh, well, so anyway.
Whatever, you do the same thing. Oh,
that's not true.
So then it was a misunderstanding.
Oh, like, yeah. Bro. And it used to piss you off so much because you would be like, everything's just a misunderstanding. There's no way there's that many misunderstandings until you started seeing them in real time with other people. And I was like, well, I tend to get myself in a lot of misunderstandings, especially with you. Remember that night we was arguing at Ybor and you were like, I know you think I'm stupid. And I was like, I would not be stuck on the curb with you if I thought you were stupid, bro. I'm stuck right here with you.
Listen, I was sober. I was pissed off. My heel broke.
I just got my shoe licked by the shoe licker. Ubers were like over $100.
It was the most. I was just so over the night, and then I looked at him. I'm like, "You think I'm fucking stupid?"
I don't even know. No, I was like, "No, you think I'm stupid? I know you think I'm fucking stupid."
Everyone walking by, listening to us, was probably dying laughing because they're just telling each other how the other one thinks they're stupid.
Like, And if these homeless people don't fuck off, they're making me paranoid. I was like, fuck them. I'm not worried about them. What I'm worried about is you thinking I'm fucking stupid.
I said I'm gonna stab them in the throat with my heel. I was so morbid that night.
Yeah, normally that's my move.
Right.
Switchblade.
He literally was like, oh my God. He was like, why is it gonna be all that?
I was like, dude, I'm the killer here. Like, what are you talking about? You're always like, no, like, don't kill that bug.
Literally. I got mad at him for killing a bug in a bar one time. Literally got so mad. I was like, bro.
I thought I saved it because it was in her. No, it was in her hair, bro.
And I got it out and I looked at it, and then before I could say anything, stop. I was like, you could have just let it live.
It probably would have came back. I saved you.
No.
Whatever,
Poor
dude.
bug. I hope it came back as a fucking leopard seal.
And I hope you go pet it like an idiot.
I just learned today, years old, that leopard seals are one of the most dangerous creatures in the world. I did not know that. I was like, oh my God, it's so pretty. The whole arm chopped off.
Didn't you say right next to the orca?
Yeah, it's number 2.
The killer whale?
Yeah.
You knew those were dangerous too, right?
Yeah. I had no idea it was right next to it.
Well, they eat those seals. So
Yeah.
they kind of cancel each other out. Well,
there's a lot more orcas than those seals, though.
Well,
Those seals are like, I think they're like endangered or getting there.
Well, good.
They're so beautiful. I can't believe they're so mean.
Wait, so the seals that we've always seen, they're not.
They're not. No, they're nice.
Leopard. What the hell is a leopard seal? Looks like a leopard?
It's like 3 times bigger, and
Oh, they're ugly too, right?
no, they're beautiful. They look like they have leopard spots on the bottom. They're so pretty, but they're huge. And then their mouths, they have these fucking crazy teeth and shit. They're like, Wah!
They're what? They're like what?
No, I'm not doing it again.
Do it again. Yeah, I would like to contribute something.
As far as deal breakers,
It's better to be the side dude than the main dude.
Oh my
Fuck bitches,
God.
get money. Love is dead. Dating is hopeless. Gang, gang, baby. That's what I wanted to contribute to this episode.
He's going through a breakup, guys.
No, I'm not, dude.
He doesn't mean it.
I do mean it.
He doesn't.
No.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, don't you fucking patronize me.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Come back for the next Text to My Eggs. Bye.
I got an album out, by the way. It's called Switchblades. It's on
Oh.
all platforms. She's on the cover of it. Go check that out.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Bye.
Bye.